Ever walk past a business and a beautifully crafted sign caught your eye? That's what we create at Eminent Signs and Graphics Inc. Whether you're starting fresh or revamping your brand, our expert team designs, fabricates, and installs signs that truly embody your business's spirit. From channel letters to monument signs, we handle it all. Ready to stand out? Visit us today at 1888 Freeman Avenue in Signal Hill, California, and see the magic for yourself.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation. Well, it's a Wednesday night here in Turn 200 land, and your screen is not mistaken. It is very, very dark here before the rising sun in the land of the rising sun. It is time to go racing with a dash and a feature here tonight. It is already week number 5 of season number 2, the 2024 ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. It's live for just the second time ever from Fuji Speedway here on Turn 200. Hello again, everybody. It's Tommy Cook. I'm the only one here tonight. The Williamson household is sick. So hopefully Matt and Madison will be well enough tomorrow so that Matt can join me for the broadcast for the Max V gang. But you're stuck with me here tonight, and lucky you. This is going to be a fantastic night of racing, as it has been the last couple of weeks. It's been 4 in a row for Dave Seats and 5 in a row for Brody Gunter. Those two have been cleaning up on the different sides of the classes. Gunter, of course, with the LMP2s, and Dave Seats with the GT3s. And that leads us to a points graphic like this. Gunter has now assumed the points lead after Christopher Hill had 3 in a row to start the season. Hill is now down by 1. He's been ultra consistent, but Gunter has been ultra consistent and 1 spot better the last few weeks. So Gunter leading Hill. Siefker's dropped back a bit, but he's still a close third. Josh Heggie has overtaken Jarrell Williams to move into the 4th position there. And Heggie coming off a podium last week as well. Dave Seats, a commanding lead for the GT3s. Not a surprise. He has been absolutely killing it this season. So he has a 33-point advantage over J.J. Wang. Matt Schlosser in 3rd. Alex Howland has already got some support here in the chat from Reaper GT05. And Kevin Burrows has been coming on strong of late here as well. He's starting to move up the leaderboard. He is 5th in the standings entering tonight's action. Expecting the sun to come up here at any moment. And by any moment, I mean at about a minute and a half when qualifying is set to conclude. This is going to be an interesting one here, as we've got a couple of drivers that are still out on the track trying to do some qualifying laps. Here's James Watson back in the lineup tonight for the GT3s. We're going to give you the lay of the land as it is for how qualifying is shaking out. And again, since Matt is not here tonight, we're not going to have the colored ticker to distinguish the different classes. Apologies for that. Watson in the GT3s, his qualifying is over. He will stay 7th with a personal best there on the 2nd lap. And Nate Morris is the only other driver, save for Nate Siefker, who has already concluded his qualifying. Morris is on track trying to put up a lap. Unfortunately, I think he's on his 3rd lap right now, which means that he did not get to post a time. But doing a little bit of extra practice here with 30 seconds left to go until we hit the starting grid. Hello to Don Golden. Hello to Joshua Rutherford as well. And, of course, hello to Reaper cheering on Alex Howland. It's going to be a fun one here tonight. We'll see how much the sun is about to come up here when the session switches over to our 20-minute dash. It looks like it's going to be foggy, and it is, but it is a lot brighter, crucially. So let's go ahead and give you tonight's starting lineup for the 20-minute dash race from Fuji Speedway for just the second time in Turn 200 history. Christopher Hill will sneak in the top time in qualifying with a 1:37.58 sporty lap from the 101. He looks to put another W back in the win column here after 5 in a row for the man starting to his outside, the current series points leader, the 2-time series champion Brody Gunter, leading the field on the outside pole. It's Josh Heggie and Nate Siefker. They've been dueling a lot for 3rd in the last couple of weeks. They will line up on that 2nd row. It is Dan Meglin and Brian Deese then on row number 3. Jarrell Williams, Joshua Rutherford, Austin Lafferty, Corey Rutherford, the 10, LMP2s that are on the grid here. So we will go ahead and get to your starting lineup here for the GT3s, and it is Dave Seats who will lead the field green. James Lehman is back in the lineup after taking last week off at Sebring. These two have had some spirited battles here this season. Mike Pepper, J.J. Wang on row number 2. Rob Henry, Matt Schlosser back on the outside of row number 3. It is James Watson and Nick Batista on row 4. Then Mike Hamlin, last week's runner-up finisher at the Sebring feature, way back in the lineup here, starting in 9th with Alex Howland to his outside in P10. Brian Beno, Calvin Levy, who's had some speed of late, he's back in 12th. Blair Warner, Thomas Klein. Johnny Alford is back once again. He will line up in 15th. It's Rene Garcia, Tyler McGlendon, and Nate Morris. 18 drivers in the GT3s, 10 for the LMP2s, and that is 28 overall. I'm sure when most people were hoping, or when most people saw that Fuji Speedway was on the calendar, that they were hoping that the chicane, the Dunlap corner, would not be on the menu. Unfortunately for them, it sure is. Only one set of eyes here tonight. Normally, I could look at one half of the field or one class, and Matt can look at the other one, but that is not going to be the case here tonight, so I'll do my best to stay on top of everything as it is developing. It's a foggy morning here in the mountains of Japan. Fuji Speedway was originally going to be a NASCAR-style oval. That idea was scrapped quickly when they realized that they couldn't cut into the mountains surrounding the venue. But it's given us a very unique and a very wonderful, very wide and fast road course. Fuji Speedway about to host round number 9 and 10. This is round number 9. It's the Dash. And it's Christopher Hill and Brody Gunter, the points leaders, on the front row, awaiting the drop of the green flag. And we're underway. The Dash to Daichi. Seeker looking to challenge for second. A little bit of contact there. Gunter is going to survive it. Back to the GT3s. Dave Seats is in a good position as Hill trying to fend off Gunter here for the lead into the Coca-Cola corner. They go side by side once again. Problems for Calvin Levy. He's had an incident further back. He's trying to get that car wrangled. Looking to the GT3 lead as Christopher Hill leads them headed to the Dunlop corner around 300R. It is Dave Seats right now over Mike Pepper. Oh, problems for Dan Miglin. He has gone around into Coca-Cola. One of the toughest chicanes in iRacing right here. GT3 still getting it sorted out. Here's Howland and Batista side by side. Howland already up 3 positions off the drop of the green. He's done a nice job. Here's Austin Lafferty, Joshua Rutherford duking it out for spot number 6. Corey Rutherford nearly into the back of Joshua as he has to let off the gas. Oh, Rene Garcia with a spin further back. He has dropped a couple of positions here. Christopher Hill going to lead the field back into Daichi. You can see how low the visibility is out of the front windshield. Almost everybody's getting off tracks into turn number 1, and there is an incident limit here. 17X is a pass-through penalty. 21X is a disqualification. You definitely want to be minding that even in just a 20-minute race here. Seeing a lot of off tracks not paired up with a lot of incidents as this one is rolling along. Hello to Cole Maxwell in the chat, pulling for JJ. Love to see it. Currently running in 4th behind Dave Seats. This is Seats leading. And this is Pepper, Lehman, and Wang, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the GT3 class. All stacked up. James Watson is here as well. As Brian Deese has had a problem. He has just dropped 3 spots. Was in 5th. Now he's down to 8th. 0.6 of a second lead for Christopher Hill over Brody Gunter. They are starting to pull away. Riding with Mike Pepper. He's battling with James Lehman. You see coming into frame there on driver's left down the front stretch. And that will put Lehman back into where he qualified in P2. But Dave Seats already a second out ahead as these three continuing to scrap for the second position. It's Lehman, Pepper, and Wang. There's Jeff Mathis in the chat. Hello, hello, as JJ is trying to make a move to the inside of James Lehman and get a 2-for-1 into Daichi. It doesn't work, but JJ is here. So things have settled down a bit. There wasn't really any large crashes there on the first lap. There were a couple of isolated incidents with Nate Morris and Rene Garcia on the opening lap. Nothing really to speak of in the LMP2s other than some narrowly avoided contact between Nate Siefker and Brody Gunter into Daichi. Now we've had a problem. Brian Deese is around once again, having a tough first 5 minutes of this one. And now problems further back, I believe, for Tyler McLennan and Brian Bonneau, though they've both gotten back on the road. We'll cue back in on your leaders here. It's a 3/4 of a second lead for Christopher Hill on Brody Gunter. Gunter trying to do all he can to keep this win streak alive. Looking for 6 in a row. After Christopher Hill took the first 3 on the season, Gunter's taken the next 5. Not much parity thus far in the LMP2s, although Hagee's had speed of late. Siefker opened the season with a lot of speed. These two will have a good battle throughout the night for spot number 3, unless something can happen where they can find their way up to these two, or these two can find their way back or even out potentially. Seats a 1.7 second lead over Lehman. Wang is dropping back a bit. He's in 3rd. Here's Mike Pepper in 4th. Matt Schlosser is trying to join the party here in P5. And these guys have 4 seconds back to Mike Hamlin in 6th, who's had a good go of it thus far after starting deeper in the field than he would have liked. Oh, there's Corey Rutherford backwards out of, I believe that's Panasonic, the final turn. It's hard to tell with the fog, though. He's certainly around, and that is definitely Corey Rutherford. We'll take a quick peek at this if we can to see. Yeah, that's cruel. But at least he doesn't hit anything. He's good to go. Gunter staying close. Still 0.6 of a second back. Keep our eyes on that. As again, we head back to the GT3 battle for second. And really the battle, well, it is the battle for second. Lehman not getting away from Wang. Again, everybody going off track there into Daichi. Oh, Alex Howland is around, and James Watson with a problem as well. That's Mike Hamlin, who can't really catch a break. Big stack up there. or seeing Howland. He's sort of tucked in behind the nameplate here. Oh, and just missed his braking point, and unfortunately trying to go straight through. And that was Mike Hamlin there. Brody Gunter has had an issue. He is backed right up to Josh Heggie. Unfortunately, with the broadcasting software, I can't tell how many incident points people have. When I'm not the one streaming, I can, but not in this scenario. Ooh, who was that? I think that was Nate Morris. That was pointed the wrong direction. But yeah, Brody Gunter was closing into about half a second on Christopher Hill, and now all of a sudden he is 2.5 seconds back and more. And fighting to keep the second position is Heggie and Siefker right here. So as soon as this gets sorted out, we'll try and figure out what happened to allow this. We've seen, though, it doesn't look particularly grippy out here. GT3s and LMP2s have both been sliding around a bit. And now we're getting into some traffic. Nice wide track for the majority of the circuit, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to bottle up like that. And Gunter is able to get some separation as Siefker and Heggie nearly pile into the back of, I believe that's Rene Garcia. Let's see if we can see what happened to Gunter originally. And Gunter is just way slow. Heggie gets through. Let's back this up a little bit. We got just a second. Gunter, just loses the back end. Dave Seats still leading 2.5 seconds over James Lehman. This is Lehman's gap back to JJ. Mike Pepper is still here. Matt Schlosser is still here. Still a healthy battle for P2 in the GT3 division. Gunter trying to close this gap up, but he may bring some company with him as Josh Heggie is stuck around. Gunter is closing this gap. It's back to 1.5 seconds. As Hill splitting traffic up the middle in a right-hand corner. Even in a track this wide, you can still have problems getting through traffic. So trying to use it down the pit straight here to get some slipstream. JJ Wang, Mike Pepper duking it out. Pepper got a nose out ahead of JJ, but he was able to take it back, so he's still in third. He's been doing his best to try and track down Dave Seats, but Seats is already the chicane ahead. Halfway through the dash race, a 40-minute feature still to come. Hard to believe that we're nearly into the back half of the season already. Tonight's feature will mark the halfway mark of the season. 10 down and 10 to go. The next 5 weeks don't really get any easier. You can, is Brian Deese going to get through there? Joshua Rutherford will try as well. You could thank Turn 200 for picking Lamar. That is where we're at next week. Excited to get Lamar on the channel for the very first time. But after that, we go to Spa-Francorchamps. We go to Legacy Phoenix Infield. Then we go to the Chicago Street Circuit and round it out at Misano. Marco Simoncelli Circuit. Very excited for what is to come here in the next, not 5 weeks, but the next 5 weeks of racing to close out the season after tonight. Flood its gate plays. Here is J.J. Wang. Mike Pepper now dropped into a battle to try and hang on to fourth, with Schlosser looming large. It's really the only battle. Really, this is the only battle. Nobody else within a second other than these four drivers. Lehman, Wang, Pepper, and Schlosser. Christopher Hill is yo-yoing a bit with Brody Gunter at the front of the field. It's been as low as 1.2. It's been as high as 2 seconds outright, as Gunter still trying to navigate through traffic. Nate Morris with problems. James Watson, Mike Hamlin, they've drawn near together pretty quickly. See if Hamlin can make something happen into turn one. Whoa, and yeah, that'll do it. Hamlin will get through on Watson. Rene Garcia just made a pass, but now he has had a problem, and I think he has just jumped back to the pits. So we'll head back to Josh Heggie real quick, as Nate Siefker's trying to rally himself back into the mix here. Siefker noted by race control last week for some contact with the GT3. Just a warning, it's his first incident. Traffic navigation for the LMP2s has been so tough here this season. It's bound to happen eventually for everybody. That's Calvin Levy around. We're in the closing 5 minutes of the dash. Christopher Hill, still with some traffic to go through. This is Wang and Lehman, I do believe. Wang looking to take advantage. He'll jump to the inside into Daichi. Lehman going to cross him back over. Four and a half seconds up the road is Dave Seats. Now Gunter has to get through a side-by-side battle for position, and a podium one at that. Split the middle and take him on the left side, headed around 100R. Whoa, and that's a problem. That's Matt Schlosser. Schlosser around and into the barriers quite heavily. Man, let's back this up real quick. Coming around the outside. Man, that just, it bottled up real quick. Schlosser's still in the 5th position. I can't tell if he has a meatball flag or not, but that will take him out of the running for 4th, at least temporarily. As Lehman, after the side-by-side battle there. Oh, and this is Nate Siefker. Siefker trying to track down Josh Heggie, now crashes from 4th. He's still got a gap back to Austin Lafferty, but he's merged back into some traffic. Man, oh man. James Watson has gone around. Just had a blink from Christopher Hill, and that was a bit concerning. So now Gunter is 4.5 seconds back with 2 laps to go. No battles in the LMP2s. Things have calmed down a bit for the GT3s as well. This is Nick Batista in 8th and Mike Hamlin back in 9th. Hamlin's still in the green, but it was looking a lot better a couple laps ago. As Hill will cross the stripe, and it'll actually be 2 laps to go now. With 1:40 left, they're lapping at about 1:31, so he should get to the line here with about 8 seconds left. Gunter trying to close in. He was about 0.8 of a second quicker last time around, but he is running out of time. It's another problem for Brian Deese, but he'll get it back in motion. For any late developments here in the GT3 class, and not really seeing it. It's still Batista and Hamlin that are the closest. But Hamlin and now Alex Howland is here as well. We'll get a full onboard lap in the feature. As, more problems for Nate Siefker. Around in turn number 14, headed into the next corner. White flag is out for Christopher Hill. Still 3.5 second lead. Gunter a little bit quicker, but not nearly enough. It's going to take a problem here for Hill in the final lap to bring him back in. Alex Howland's had an issue. He's back in motion. Had some faster traffic working through. And I hear spinning ahead of him. It's Mike Hamlin again. Man, Mike Hamlin got on the podium last week. He's been fast all season, but this guy generally can't catch a break. Zeros on the clock. Through the Nets corner, headed to Panasonic. And out of turn number 16, headed down the long pit straightaway. It'll be Christopher Hill breaking up the streak of Gunter domination. Christopher Hill will take the win here for the dash race at Fuji for the LMP2s. It's his 4th of the season, 4th overall with the ASRL Limited Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. Brody Gunter will finish in 2nd. It'll be Josh Heggie in 3rd. And we wait to see if Dave Seats can make it official. He's on quite the run. This will be 5 in a row for the GT3 points leader. And the first ever champion of the ASRL Limited Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship, Dave Seats, will take another one. James Lehman and JJ Wang side by side. And I think Lehman got him by 100th of a second to hang on to P2. Wang will take 3rd. Drag racing there. That was a good one. Let's take a look at this while we can. That's them through the Nets turn. They're side by side. Hopefully this replay doesn't cut out. JJ with good drive off to set this up. Oh, some contact. They've been really fighting for it. Wowee. Not by much. Not by much at all. We'll send it to our advertised mid-race break and come back with the winners of the dash races here from Fuji Speedway. We'll talk to Dave Seats first and then to Christopher Hill around the turn here for the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship on turn 200.
Ever walked past a business and a beautifully crafted sign caught your eye? That's what we create at Eminent Signs and Graphics Inc. Whether you're starting fresh or revamping your brand, our expert team designs, fabricates, and installs signs that truly embody your business's spirit. From channel letters to monument signs, we handle it all. Ready to stand out? Visit us today at 1888 Freeman Avenue in Signal Hill, California, and see the magic for yourself.
Here at TWRS, we're always here to help our squad when they need a little push in the right direction. That's just who we are. We're a beautifully diverse group of goofballs dedicated to driving fake race cars as fast as possible. And we continue to push each other to the front using the power of nonsense. We have one of the strongest NASCAR programs on the service, and you can access it all for $24.99 a month. And we just released individual subscriptions for $14.99 a month for each NASCAR vehicle. We also just added a Rallycross program, and our IndyCar program is taking off as well. So come join the weird side. We have speed and cookies. Cookies are not included in some locations.
Turn 200's coverage of the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship from Fuji Speedway is presented by Eminent Signs and Graphics. From channel letters to monument signs, they handle it all. Team Watson Racing Setups, Mullet Music Productions, CJR Graphics, and the American Sim Racing League, celebrating 25 years of sim racing excellence. So we're back here with tonight's live coverage of the ASRL Limited Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. Back with your winner once again in the GT3 division. Boy, it's been a run for Dave Seats, and that is not stopping anytime soon, it looks like. Congrats on another one here in Fuji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you got the lead into Daichi. They started really scrapping behind you for second, third, fourth, and even fifth. I mean, they were all globbed in there. You were able to just drive away from it. I mean, nice to be able to see that in the rear view and not have to worry about it ever coming your way, I suppose.
Yeah, I try not to look in the rear view so I don't see what's coming.
Well, we know what's coming here. First of all, I would imagine the track is evolving at least fairly decently quick with a 2x sim counter. You're headed to the back. There's more space around some of this track than there have been in the last couple of weeks. There are a couple of really weird choke points as well, and this really just feels like a low grip track in general. So, I mean, is this more challenging or less challenging than what you've had to face with the inverts going to the back of the field in the last couple of weeks?
Time will tell for sure, but definitely with the current track conditions, it's fairly cold track. Because of the night racing, we didn't really get it rubbered up, so it's still very green even with that sprint race. I think in the feature race, the biggest thing to watch coming, racing around the other contenders is a lot of these corners have very high commitment to get lap time, and trying to feel out where somebody else's break point is that you haven't really raced around is going to be tricky, because the last thing you want to do is take out you and another competitor simply because you have different breaking points or something like that. So that's going to be a real big thing to watch out for tonight.
Yeah, we definitely saw that a couple of times in the dash race earlier. Best of luck to you going from the back, trying to get to the front once again to take another one. Shout-outs before we let you go.
As always, you guys in the broadcast booth putting on a good show for us. Corey and all the ASRL gentlemen, and then my sponsors, Jordan at Full Sun Graphics and Chris with at Ease Tool Sales.
That is win number 18 for Dave Seats, the first champ of the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. Congrats. We'll hopefully talk to you again later.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
So we'll now move in your winner for the LMP2s. It's been a couple weeks, at least for the top spot here in the dash, but it's good to talk to Christopher Hill in the 101, who will get it done here in the dash race for the LMP2s. Welcome back.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's good to be back in the booth and back in the top step. Hopefully we can repeat in the feature. Definitely interesting driving around in the dark, and then all of a sudden you can see where you're going, and boy, that's a lot easier.
Yeah, I would imagine. It's dark and it's foggy now. The track is continuing to evolve here. I mean, you were yo-yoing a bit with Brody Gunter there. He was inside of a second there for a while, had one big slip-up, drop back, was trying to reel you in. But something tells me that a mistake like that from Gunter won't happen again, and you're going to have to plow through the field with him once again here, regardless, for the inverts. I mean, a lot to look forward to in this 40-minute feature.
For sure. Yeah, it should be. It definitely should be interesting. I mean, I guess they also kind of tightened up on the start rules, so can't quite get away with all my usual tricks. So it's all right. We'll have a good one. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully we'll talk to you again at the end.
Sounds like a plan, partner. Before we let you go, get your shout-outs in like usual.
I have Team Watson Racing Setup Shop and Precision Racing Instruction, and maybe we'll talk more about that later. So yeah, have a good one, guys.
Absolutely. Thanks for the time. We'll hopefully talk to you again in a minute.
Yep.
All right, so that is Christopher Hill's time. I think we're getting ready to go racing here in just a second. But that is 4 in a row, or rather, that's 3 in a row to start the season for Christopher Hill, and the 4th victory of the season now to break up the Brody Gunter run of dominance that we've seen here the last 5 races in the last 3 weeks, dating back to the Phillip Island circuit. I want to thank again ASRL, or rather want to thank again Eminent Signs and Graphics, from channel letters to monument signs. They handle it all, and I appreciate them and their support of the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship for the 2024 second season of competition. Got about 15 seconds left to go. Thank you to everybody that's hanging out with us once again, keeping me company here on the night without Matt Williamson. I hope to have him back tomorrow night for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. They will set their championship for tomorrow night in Martinsville. That is going to be a bonkers night of racing. So many good short track racers in that league, and only 2 more spots are available to cinch up this championship for. So that will be a fun night of racing. We'll get to set the final 4 and see who gets to go racing in Phoenix. I guess there's 3 spots available now that I think about it. So 2 drivers will point in. 3 of them will join Charlie Widener. I think we actually have a couple of minutes left. I think this is a 10-minute warm-up. But regardless, if you did not join us on Monday night, Truck 200 is back. It's back in an exhibition capacity on Monday night, doing a recruitment race at Texas Motor Speedway. That was an absolute blast. A stacked field as well. Brody Gunter, who is looking to take the win here in the feature for the LMP2 division, won the truck race. High strength of field. Picked up a couple of drivers from that race as well, including a podium finisher. So very excited. We could have a field upwards of 40 to 50 cars headed into Daytona. We'll have a dual stream, the Daytona Duels and Qualifying Show on Monday night, coming up here at about 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. That will be a very fun night, a very special night. Everybody will get some love on the broadcast that comes out and turns a qualifying lap, and then we'll turn them loose for twin 25 lappers to set the field for the Return 200 in 2 weeks' time, and that will be the first time the Truck 200 is back since the end of 2023. It's been a while, but very excited to get back to it here shortly. Speaking of getting back to it shortly, we are about to take the starting grid once again, this time for the 40-minute feature. And things to keep in mind as well, there will be a pit stop in here for fuel. Fuel capacity is 45% for the GT3s. It's about 65% for the LMP2s. So they'll all have to stop for fuel. 17X disqualification, or rather a 17X pass-through penalty, 21X disqualification. And that is about all you need to know here, other than who is going to lead the field to the green. With the full field invert, of course, it'll be the LMP2s at the front of the field, but Jarrell Williams will lead them. It'll be Corey Rutherford starting days outside, Joshua Rutherford, and Dan Mingle will be on row 2. Brian Deese, Austin Lafferty on the third row. It's Nate Siefker, Josh Heggie on row 4, Brody Gunter, and Christopher Hill line up at the back of the grid for the LMP2s onto the GT3s. Rene Garcia had a tough go of things. We'll see if he can benefit from the invert here in a big field of GT3s. Nate Morris will start to his outside. Blair Warner and Thomas Klein both had problems there. They will start on row number 2. Calvin Levy, Brian Bonneau on row 3. Levy as well, but fast of late. We'll see if he could benefit from the invert. McLennan and Henry on the 4th row. It's James Watson, Mike Hamlin on row number 5. It's Alex Allen and Nick Batista on row 6. Matt Schlosser with problems there late. He'll still start towards the back of the field, however, as Johnny Alford will line up to his outside. Mike Pepper, J.J. Wang, James Lehman, and, of course, Dave Seats going to be shotgun on the field here, back in the 18th position in class. I believe we may have lost, at least temporarily, Blair Warner, Rene Garcia, and Jarrell Williams, so that should move. I believe Corey Rutherford and Dan Miglin on to the front row for the LMP2s. Heard Dave talk about the weather conditions. We'll take a look at them here real quick. %% humidity. That's why it's so foggy. Track temp is 67. Like he said, this is a cold track. It's not picking up rubber. It'll rubber in here eventually. I would imagine we're going to do a second pace lap here as the LMP2s are behind the GT3s. They'll all come to a stop and move out of the way. I hope we don't start them right now. That's going to be chaotic. And the lights are back on the pace car. So we are going to go around again. If we just standing started the GT3s, honestly, it would be kind of funny. And we are going to Le Mans next week. We could get a Le Mans style start in. Why not? So it's actually going to be the Rutherford boys on the front row here. And the timer is started. I'm sure it'll revert back to 40 minutes here once we actually come around to take the green flag. Sure hope so anyway. We do have the opportunity for full course cautions. We've, knock on wood, not had one this season. I'm envisioning one in the future. Maybe back-to-back weeks at Legacy Phoenix and Chicago Street in a couple weeks' time. Can't imagine we'll be doing them at Le Mans, and I do believe that's Le Mans Historic. If it's not, then I meant to request Le Mans Historic, which means the Mulsanne Straight is straight. No chicanes. And these guys will be going very, very fast down the back stretch. Tested it out with a Gen 4 NASCAR not too long ago down the Mulsanne Straight. I got up to 214 miles an hour before I had to slow her down. That was a lot of fun. Work in progress racing. They'll be a force to be reckoned with in the Turn 200 team standings as well, but they're represented at the front of the field here with the Rutherfords leading the LMP2 division. Nate Morris, Calvin Levy, hoping for better starts to their outing than they had in the dash race, that's for sure. As no Rene Garcia and no Jarrell Williams to benefit from the invert of the entire field. Space car will head off this time. After a little extended pacing, we'll get ourselves underway here for the 40-minute feature. It's the Nebraska boys. Rutherford leading the field. And the dash to Daichi is underway. Fanning out nearly 4 wide. They are 4 wide for just a second, and 4 wide again as Siefker plunges to the inside, looking to take the lead. He's got it for now. Brian Deese to challenge to the inside here of Coca-Cola Corner. But Siefker has the lead. It's Nate Morris leading the GT3s. They're side by side for spot number 3. Levy leading Watson. Watson now fading back to Thomas Klein. Fairly clean couple of opening corners here despite the craziness there into a green turn number 1. Oh, and now Levy with a problem. He has gone around, and there's another spin in front of him. I believe it's Mike Pepper. Pepper for a spin. And look at this. Brody Gunzer on the opening lap has clawed his way up to second. And now is only a second behind Nate Siefker, who's going to spin it out into the Nets corner. We'll bring it back in front of traffic. Man, Brody Gunzer and Christopher Hill, just like that, go from the back to the front in less than a lap. Nate Morris is wide, so is James Watson. Matt Schlosser looming in third. Crazy opening lap here. James Watson's coming down pit road. Christopher Hill is 1.2 seconds behind Gunter. Now it's the flip and reverse of the dash. As look at this gaggle for third and the GT3s. That's Howlands giving way to James Lehman. JJ Wang is tucked up right behind, just like they finished their dash race side by side. Lehman going to slip it wide. And JJ will go around the outside. For the lead in the GT3s, there goes Matt Schlosser through on Nate Morris. Dave Seats right in the thick of it, but he's already up to 5th. Gunter with a 1 second lead on Christopher Hill. You're not missing anything there. We are going to take a peek, however, at Joshua Rutherford and Josh Hagee as they're about to go side by side into Daichi, and Nate Siefker in the mix there as well. My scoring just went completely haywire, but here they go 3 wide. Rutherford will roll out of it. Siefker sending it deep, trying to get a twofer, and might get it. My scoring is going absolutely nuts right now. It thinks that the GT3s are the leaders for whatever reason. JJ Wang has gotten up to 2nd. Now James Lehman is to 3rd. As Nate Morris has slipped back from the lead to 6th. But JJ and James have gotten their elbows out here tonight, that's for sure. And now they're going to have to do it again with Matt Schlosser right in front. Prime for the taking. There's the gap from Gunter to Hill. It is closing. We'll keep watching. Oh, there's a spin. That's Brian Bonneau. He'll pull it off the track. Good heads-up move for him. Josh Hagee with his hands full. That's Nate Siefker right behind. Schlosser with a bit of a dragon down the front stretch, trying to break the toe, but Lehman is closing. Yes, crazy start indeed. And look at that, JJ Wang from way downtown, gonna take 2nd. Unless I was looking at the wrong guy the whole time, which would not be surprising. Still, JJ here in P2. James has got his hands full here. Dave Seats is on the scene. Lead is back to 9/10 of a second now for Brody Gunter. And the dragon is on again. Schlosser trying to break the toe. Back to Wang. Alex Allen's had a problem. He's back to the pits. We'll take a look at that here in a second. As JJ going to try and take the long way around Schlosser here into Daichi. Schlosser forcing him out to the rumble strips. Side by side for the class lead. And Wang will send it into Coca-Cola. Schlosser trying to fight back. Here's James Lehman. As Trading Paints decided to do an update in the middle of the race, why wouldn't they? Lehman trying to go around the outside. It might open the door here for Dave Seats to do something as J.J. Wang is taking the lead. Seats to the inside in the Dunlop corner. Through the Dunlop chicane. Schlosser back from first to fourth. Hagen and Siefker are continuing to battle. Wang is not concerned with breaking the toe here. Down the pit straight back to Lehman. We'll see if Lehman is going to send it here into Daichi or if he'll wait for a better spot. Dave Seats nearly sent it into the back of Lehman. As these two have swapped position multiple times here on this lap, Heggie now trying to maintain this position, at least in the short term, over Nate Siefker. Hill closing back in, back to 0.7 of a second. Oh, we've had a problem. Nate Siefker again around, and I think Brian Deese had a hand in it as well. Deese is back rolling, but Siefker going to fall all the way down to P8 on the leaderboard. JJ trying to keep James at bay. We'll go kick pot with your runner-up. Maybe we'll get a full lap in here. Maybe not. We may have to bail out of it because Dave Seats is going to try and make a move. I'd rather see that in all of its glory here into Daichi, and we could get an onboard lap here later. Lehman trying to keep pressed up to the door of Seats. Through Coca-Cola, Seats a little wide. Will maintain the inside positioning here as Matt Schlosser's trying to rally back in. And there was, I think that was netcode. Seats is going to go for a spin. Wow, what a job to keep that out of the barriers. We'll take a better look at that. Seats and Lehman were awfully close. Lehman slips back to 5th. Seats is back to 6th. Wowee. Let's take a look. It's already in progress there. We'll back it up. Oh, that was netcode. They might have touched anyway, eventually. But it looked like there was some space between those two cars. With how sudden it was, man, Seats did a whale of a job to keep that out of the wall. All right, so it's now J.J. Wang in a pretty good position here all of a sudden. Still over half this race to go. And Dave Seats' pace, with not really any damage from that, he could still be on to rally back for the win. Wang's in a good spot here with no pressure from behind just yet. But no pressure from behind is not what Bertie Gunter's feeling, as it's Christopher Hill, looming large. Hill, pump fake. They're both wide there into turn number 1. Gunter is wide through Coca-Cola, and that's going to cost him the top spot. Hill is back on point. Traffic is ahead, though, and Gunter is not too far behind. And we've seen the traffic swing both directions for these two. Boy, look at that in front of Christopher Hill. Talk about claustrophobic. You already don't have a great look out of the windshield, and now you have to share the track with some very slow traffic with your competitor right behind you. Whoa! You can hear the tires sliding on the 101. Gunter was able to get through there. He's now half a second back as Hill is going to make it official across the stripe. Ooh, Gunter closes it right back up, though. JJ Wang leading by 2 seconds over Matt Schlosser. Mike Hamlin is now on the podium. So I believe that was Schlosser, and indeed it is. So watch for JJ Wang to get rolled up on here. There goes Christopher Hill. When Dave Seitz has had another problem. Showing that he had an incident, although he just passed Nick Batista to move into the top 5. Let's take a look real quick. Wow. Comes to a full stop, but still didn't lose a position. Oh, that's Josh Heggie slow on the track. Mike Hamlin is also slow. They might have gotten together there. That is Heggie behind Hamlin. Oh, and it was Heggie. They spun at the exact same time. That's remarkable. This is the advantage for Hill on Gunter, and I want to go back and take a look as well at this pass for the lead while we're racking up replays. You saw Gunter way wide there. I want to see why that happened, though. Car is just not underneath of him, and that is going to allow Christopher Hill to slip right through him. So Heggie's had a host of problems. Right now it's Dan Miglin on the 3rd spot on the podium as he sends it there into Thomas Klein into the Dunlop curve. Heggie going to try and be a little bit more patient. It's just so hard. The closing rate between these two classes is ridiculous, especially into a really slow corner there. That's what Heggie's trying to work with to get himself back onto the podium. 4 seconds behind him is Nate Siefker, who himself has had an interesting race, to say the least. Leading the GT3 division, that is Matt Schlosser, or excuse me, that's JJ Wang. Goodness gracious. Trying to take the win away from JJ here. But he's got a 4-second lead over Matt Schlosser. And 19 seconds back to Dave Seitz. With just over half the race to go. Anything can happen, and I do mean anything because a lot has happened already and not even half the run time. Looking for battles. There aren't many to speak of. We'll take a peek back here at a badly battered Mike Pepper machine in car number 63. The front is gone on that machine. Rob Henry challenging. That's for spot number 7. The front tires are staying cool. And I think the radiator is getting plenty of air as well. Well, here's spin ahead of these gentlemen. That is Tyler McGlennon, who I said was Thomas Klein earlier. Apologies. Running similarly pink and purple cars. Gunter now 1.3 seconds behind Christopher Hill and trying to track him down. It's about the closest grouping we have for the LMP2s. Wang continuing to extend the advantage, not just over Matt Schlosser, but also over Dave Seats. It's nearly up to 20 seconds now, and that's the one that we're really watching as Seats tries to claw his way back through the field. JJ was so close to a victory at Phillip Island in race number 3 of the season. Oh, as Nick Batista's had a problem, and he, I think, has jumped to the pits. I saw that he entered pit lane, may have just decided to tow to his pit box. Not really sure what's going on there. It's a nice segue, though. Right at the halfway mark of the race, Christopher Hill's going to cross the stripe. As Josh Hagee's trying to catch Dan Miglen once again to get this 099 back on the podium. Hagee tucked up right there underneath Miglen. Through the hairpin turn and 300R. Brian Deese is on pit road for the LMP2s. As Hagee with some connectivity there. Still applying the pressure, though. Miglen looks like he's bringing it to pit road, and he will. So Dan Miglen is the second LMP2 driver to head to get his service across the halfway mark of the race. I keep teasing an onboard lap. For Matt Williamson, we'll do... Oh, no, we won't. Oh, that's Sivka around again. We may never get it in. So here's Christopher Hill. He might dip off on a pit road here this time, but we'll at least get the kickbot cam in. All right, let's see how deep he sends it here on pit entry. I mean, that is full throttle commitment. Oh, boy. Really having to get a woe down there. That may not have been in time. We will have to see. Gunter and Heggie and Lafferty all came down pit road on this previous lap. Hill is in this time. We'll see if Joshua Rutherford or Nate Siefker elect to come down. Still awaiting the bulk of the GT3 class to enter pit road here as well. It's Wang with a 6-second lead over Matt Schlosser. All right, no penalty for Hill on entry. He is clean to get away. We'll go to Gunter. He's up to full speed here. But Hill's got him covered by 4 seconds. But again, are these two playing games with the tires here on a high-deg green track? As Nate Siefker inherits the lead until he decides to come to pit road. JJ Wang's gap back to Dave's seats is shrinking a little bit, but it's still 19 seconds with pit stops to come. But Wang over Matt Schlosser, the most immediate threat, is only 5.9 seconds behind. James Lehman should say after the contact or the netcode contact between he and Dave Seats came down pit road almost immediately. As both of the Rutherfords are down. Siefker still yet to make his stop, stretching out the fuel as long as it will go. Not been the cleanest night for Nate, but anytime he could lead some laps, that's always a good thing. And Seifker pulling it right down the straight this time. We'll see him come down pit road. Again, full commitment. Gets it rode down. That one looks a lot safer. So Hill's only extended this lead since they came out of pit road. 1.1 seconds faster last time than Bertie Gunter. Excuse me, I can't read. That's half a second faster than Bertie Gunter last time around. Either way, gap is nearly 5. And Hill has got 23 back to Josh Hagee in third. JJ Wang has been on and off pit road, so now it is Dave Seats who leads the GT3s once again. And Seats is coming down pit road this time. It looks like Mike Hamlin is going to follow. So this will give the lead right away, right back to JJ in just a lap's time. There's Seats leaving pit road. Nate Morris jutting out in front of him as well. That's not forward position. Oh my lord. That was a bit wide. Well, that was our favorite part of the race normally, when the leaders converge. There's Hill getting past Wang. So 9 minutes left to go. Gap is holding steady for Hill. 4.7 seconds just about. Really, the only battle we got in the LMP2s right now is Seifker trying to pick his way back through the field after multiple spins. This is him ducking to the inside of Austin Lafferty as they get a little bit tight. Seifker gets a little bit loose. He's had trouble in that corner tonight. Some slower traffic hanging out to the left side. Seifker going to try and take the long way around and will into Dunlop. So Seifker will take another one. Here's the bagman, Johnny Alford. He's in second. 4.5 behind JJ. Matt Schlosser now back to third. As Nate Morris has to make a pass through for the incident limit, I believe. Gap from JJ back to Dave Seats is shrinking, but it's still 16 seconds. As Seifker is way out of the ballpark, and that is going to be the end of the night, I believe, for driver 45. As Lafferty will move through him. That is about the only battle that we had on track up until that moment. For anybody that's curious, Johnny Alford running in second. I'm showing that he has been down pit road. Not sure when. Maybe one of the early pitters. Well, actually, there's a pit lap function on here. I didn't know that. So he came in 2 laps before JJ did. So Johnny is here to stay, it looks like, if he can keep Matt Schlosser behind. Schlosser incrementally gaining here on Alford. As Schlosser and Josh Heggie go through. Heggie catching Alford here in a weird spot. Schlosser looking to claw back some points to Dave Seats. Seats is continuing to try and muscle his way towards another podium. Still a long ways to go. Christopher Hill up front, 4.5 seconds still on Brody Gunter. If the tide is going to turn, it needs to turn quick. Five minutes to go. That's Alford just ahead. That's only a 1.5 seconds up the road. Tantalizingly close for the 400. As I believe that's Dan Miglin getting through on his old Venom Truck Series teammate. And indeed it is. See if he could rock the boat a little bit when he goes through on Johnny Alford. Schlosser actually lost time on that exchange. He's now 2 seconds back. Nothing's changed up front. Hill still pretty much holding a 4.5 second lead on Brody Gunter. Should be 2 laps to go here at the stripe. Hill's done a nice job after getting through on Gunter. He has not looked back. JJ Wang still holding strong up front with just a couple to go. Looking for his first win of the season. It tells me the chat will pop off here in about 2 minutes if driver 61 can bring it home. Boy, Matt Schlosser lost touch with Johnny Alford there rapidly. Second looking pretty secure without a mistake from the bagman. This is Christopher Hill. There's been one night where he and Gunter have split victories. It was at Phillip Island. Other than that, it's been all sweeps this season, and Hill looking for another one here, one to go. Just 6 turns left. Make it 5, make it 4. Hill comfortably ahead of Brody Gunter. He'll sneak to the inside of Corey Rutherford. And he's headed back down the pit straight to take the sweep here tonight. It's the 101 of Christopher Hill to the stripe to take the double checkers and the double win at Fuji. And now we follow JJ Wang. He's taking it easy here on the final lap. Johnny Alford has made some inroads here, but still, that's that yellow car in the background there. Mistake from JJ could put Johnny Alford right in the mix here for the dub. Through turn 16 with bated breath out of Panasonic comes JJ Wang, looking for his 6th victory with the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. And it'll be the first of the season for the 61. JJ is back on top in ASRL. How about it? Johnny Alford back on the podium. He'll take second. Matt Schlosser is going to finish in third. Dave Seats, a great rally. We won't talk to him at the end of this one. I'm sure he's frustrated, but a great recovery for him. And Christopher Hill will take victory number 5 on the season. After taking the sweep here tonight at Fuji. So here's a look overhead of the Fuji Speedway as we will try and get the full race results here. Gotta wait for everybody to cross the finish line before it'll come up, of course. Here we go. Christopher Hill will take the win in the LMP2 division. It'll be Brody Gunter in second, Josh Heggie in third. Dan Miglin will take fourth. Joshua Rutherford, top 5 here tonight for him. Pretty good. Austin Lafferty will take 6th. Brian Deese in 7th. Corey Rutherford will finish in 8th. Nate Siefker and Jarrell Williams, DNF and a DNS respectively. On to the GT3s. It will be JJ Wang with his first win of the season. Congrats to him. We'll talk to him and the bagman Johnny Alford here in just a second. It is Matt Schlosser to round out that podium. Dave Seats, Mike Hamill in the top 5. Sixth place for Rob Henry. He's the last driver on the lead lap in the class. Nick Batista, Mike Pepper, Thomas Klein, Nate Morris, the top 10. Brian Bonneau will finish in 11th, and I believe he's the last driver to finish. Is Tyler McGlennon will finish in 12th. James Lehman, a DNF. James Watson, a DNF as well. Alex Hallen to round out the top 15. Calvin Levy, Renee Garcia, and Blair Warner, the rest of the finishing order for the GT3s. On to some podium interviews, if we can wrangle some drivers here. We'll look first for Johnny Alford, who will finish runner-up tonight in the GT3 class. Good to talk to Bags here. It's been a little bit, but it's the 710 P2 here tonight with the GT3s. Great run.
Hey, what's going on, man? Thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was at dead last, I think, going to turn 1 on that one.
I was going to say, you kind of snuck up on me. Of course, it's just me here tonight, so I'm having to watch a lot. But all of a sudden, after the pit stops, there's Johnny Alford in P2. I mean, what got you through the front here? Because it was a pretty hectic race for the GT3s as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of luck, really. That's exactly what it was. There was a couple incidents with some of the quicker guys up front, and then some LMP2s helping me out there at the end, keeping Schlossner behind me and keeping me away from JJ. Although I don't think I had the pace for him anyway.
I mean, you've come back here the last couple of weeks. I mean, you've had some bad luck here as well, but great speed here tonight's back half of the season. What are we looking forward to? What are you expecting to come in the final 5 weeks here?
I'm just happy to be back, man. Yeah, no real shot at the championship or anything like that. I'm way down in points, but just looking to come out and have some fun and see if I can finally get that win in the GT3 class this season.
Well, we can't root anybody on here, but I'll send some good energy your way anyway. But you're doing the work yourself here. Great run here tonight. Shout-outs for you.
Appreciate it, man. Shout out to you coming out all by yourself, doing it tonight. Like you said, that's a lot of work for one guy, a lot of cars to watch. So appreciate Turn 200 and Corey and all the other guys that put this ASRL league on, and all the racers for keeping it clean for the most part tonight. It was fun.
Welcome back to Booth 200. Don't be a stranger here in the next couple weeks. So look forward to talking to you again.
I'll do my best. Thanks, Tommy. You have a good one.
So there's Johnny Alford. And we'll now talk to your race winner for the very first time here this season, and it's win number 6 overall in the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship for JJ Wang. Welcome back to the booth, partner. It's been too long.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. Wasn't sure when I was gonna get another one, or even if, but yeah, it's a big, no surprise, a more competitive GT3 makes a big difference.
Well, I mean, it's obvious you've had lights out pace here this season. The two things that have really stopped this from happening sooner, well, other than a wonky pit road at VIR, would be the pace that Dave Seats has had, which is just incredible, and also some horrendous luck for you. I feel like none of the breaks have gone your way this season.
Yeah, glad you noticed. It was radial was interesting today. It was just catching the LMP2s are just all in the wrong places. I think I had legs on James Lehman on the second half of the heat, but yeah, man, like when the LMP drivers get to you, sometimes they want to go, sometimes they don't, and it really can hurt you. But once I told my James and my crew that luck has to come our way eventually, and I think it did kind of tonight. But yeah, with you got to put yourself in a position for on the front to kind of capitalize, and I'm just thankful that we had like both luck and pace today.
Well, you clawed some points back, at least presumably, on Dave's Seats. We're headed into the back half of the season. You're there in second in the points. A bit of a gap to overcome, though. But how do we feel? I know how you feel about one of the races in particular, but the other 4 down the stretch here as well.
Well, we'll just have to see. I think the way that the bonus point shakes out, it was really hard for us to really predict how that really pans out. And big credit to Dave Seats that he's just able to just rack up those points, just driving really well, driving cleanly. So we'll just have to see if we can maybe kind of match his performance there, and then if more luck comes our way, the bonus points can really swing things the other way. So I would just say, this weekend was important to just kind of keep us in contention, just keep in arm's reach. But all in all, I'm happy to get to talk to you again, and happy to just help Chris on the for the team's championship. I would feel pretty silly if my teammate has won and I haven't won at least once this season.
Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You're on the top step here tonight. Congrats. Shout-outs for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to Chris Hill, my direct teammate for this season. All the TWR boys. We've had a kind of a rough one actually, this one, but it panned out for some of us, and great guys to run with. Big thanks to Precision Racing Instructions, my sponsor for this season, and Chris's coaching company. If you need good coaching, Chris is the man to hit up. He's helped me a lot, kind of later half of this year, and I think it's showing up on track. So yeah, definitely. And go to twrsetups.com for our kind of setup shop. We do some great work on the oval and dirt oval guys. And big thanks to you for the you and Matt for the great broadcast. I'm gonna look forward to seeing this one back.
Well, hopefully it's watchable. I'm looking forward to having Matt back next week. But great job here tonight. Great to get to talk to you. He'll be jealous that he missed this one. So go celebrate, and we'll talk to you again here real soon.
Thanks so much, Tommy. Thanks.
All righty, we will go in search now of your second place finisher here for the LMP2s. It's Brody Gunter, who will take double seconds here tonight. Good night here at Fuji. I'm sure you wanted to do one better in both of those races, but pretty solid night, all things considered.
Yes, sir. I'll have to take it. There's not as much more I could do. I felt like I pushed the car to its limit. That's as much as it could do. I guess Till proved me wrong. I feel like I was faster in certain sections, but the main place I lost him in was he just pulled a gain on me like 2/10 just on the straightaway. No matter how good of an exit I got, even if I pulled up a 10th on exit, he still somehow had more straightaway speed by the end of the straightaway. And then I feel like I got a little unlucky at traffic here and there, but all in all, I feel like I did everything I could.
Yeah, it seemed like a bit of a wonky race overall, of course, with the rapidly changing track conditions and the track going from green to not green as the race rolled along. I mean, that just had to be a tough one to stay on top of for a track that a lot of these guys really don't run all that often.
I didn't really feel like I struggled keeping on up with the track. I feel like I was okay going from the night to the day, going with the different conditions. It was just, I don't know, I guess something I was missing compared to Hill. I don't know what yet. I was watching him. Obviously, I was behind him, and there's certain sections where I feel like even when I put the brake at the 53%, I still couldn't be as stable as he was in the braking through the S's. But like I said, I guess I did everything I could, tried everything I could, just had to settle for second.
Didn't wreck it, brought it home in one piece, and second place ain't all that bad. So looking forward to the back half of the season here. It's been a fantastic opening stretch for you. I don't know. Do we feel confident with the slate of tracks that we have coming up?
I don't know yet. That's funny because the ones I've been confident so far I've done bad at. The ones I've not been confident at I've done well at. So I don't really know yet. So we just have to find out. I am looking forward to Le Mans next week, but don't know how I'm going to do yet.
Well, we'll look forward to that then. But in the meantime, shout-outs for you here.
CGI Graphics, Mullet Music Productions, Tone 200, everyone at ASRL, and Team 510.
All righty, partner. We'll talk to you again here, and maybe Monday, but hopefully next Wednesday as well. But go celebrate a hard-fought P2.
All right, thank you.
And now, get out the brooms once again. It's Christopher Hill with his second sweep of the season, and back on the top step for the 5th time here. Congrats.
Thanks. Yeah, super happy about that. It was nice to get a chance to do a little practice before the race for a change, and I think it paid off a little bit. So, little sharper than I was. Of course, most of my practice was in the dark, but hey, whatever.
Yeah. Gunter was surprised. Maybe not surprised is not the right word, but he says he just could not keep up with you here tonight. What do you think you had figured out about this track? Is it just simply the practice, or I mean, what does it take to motor around here as fast as you did?
Yeah, I don't know. I was finding a spot or two that I think I was taking a slightly alternate line to what he was doing, and it was, you know, a tenth or here, a tenth there, and it just kind of added up. And I don't know. As the race went on, I feel like I got more comfortable with the car and the setup on the track. I wouldn't say it's the best suited setup for that track, and that's why I think we were all struggling in the slow speed stuff. You know, Brody had his spin in the heat race there, and a couple others did. I think Nate might have had one there in the first lap or something like that, or somebody did. And you know, I almost had it a couple times there too until I kind of figured out how to drive it. So it was definitely a challenging setup for the track and the conditions and everything like that. And but once I kind of figured out what I needed, then I think I was able to find, you know, not a bunch. I'm sure if we look at the lap times, it's like, you know, a tenth or two at the most, you know, but it all adds up over the course of a race. And yeah, got fortunate on the pit stop too. Somehow I ended up a bit ahead there. I don't know if he was a little more conservative on the pit entry or if he took a little more fuel. I scared myself because I decided to second guess my auto fuel, and I was like, let's just take a half a gallon out or something. And then for a moment there, as soon as it came out, it was telling me I needed another half a gallon, and I was panicking for a moment. So it all worked out though. So.
Well, you and Gunter are locked in a really tight points battle here. The first half of the season has been very successful for both of you. The back half, how do we feel about some of the tracks that are coming up?
The next two, I feel pretty decent, and I've got some seat time at both of those. Phoenix is going to be interesting, and from my understanding, Chicago is going to be in the rain, so that should be, or at least from what it looks like on the setup there. So I'm like, yeah, that's I think that's a JJ pick, is what it sounds like to me, and so that'll be interesting to say the least. And I don't know. I'm just having a blast. I mean, you know, we got a really tight battle. I mean, I think we were 1 point apart coming into this race, and it'll, you know, swing back my way this time. But, you know, who knows? He might have a racetrack that I just don't get up to speed on or whatever, and he wins a couple more, and it can go back the other way in a heartbeat. So yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of the season shapes up. I mean, it's been a fun one so far, and Brody's racing super clean and respectful, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, so yeah, can't ask for much more.
Well, you take another win here tonight. Congrats. Shout outs for you once again.
Yeah, big thanks to the guys at Team Watson Racing Setup Shop. James and all of them over there. They great guys. If you're looking for some setups, hit them up. Precision Racing Instruction. I'm a full-time racing coach, and basically, you know, I do stuff in the real world or also in the sim, but got some stuff under development. It's just taking its time. Got the book and some courses and stuff that I'll be releasing. It's not too far down the road, so I'll definitely let you know when that's around. Excited about that. And yeah, big thanks to the guys putting it on. Congrats to JJ for the win. It's cool to see 2 PRI cars on the top step there. So we'll see if we can't keep the championship going for us in the teams championship too, because I think we're in pretty good shape there for now, and hopefully we can keep it up. So.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to let you do all the winning this season, so he figured he'd slip one in there as well. So great work by the team here tonight. Go celebrate the sweep. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week in Le Mans.
Sounds great. Have a good one.
So that is 5 wins apiece for Christopher Hill and for Brody Gunter to open the first 10 races of the season. Those two are slugging at it. And maybe, although it wasn't Dave Seats' fault here tonight with the netcode contact between he and James Lehman, but maybe, just maybe, somebody, particularly J.J. Wang, but also Matt Schlosser was here tonight as well. Who knows? Can claw their way back into the battle for the GT3 Championship. A lot to look forward to here in the final 5 races of the season. Again, Le Mans next week, then we go to Spa, then it's a Legacy Phoenix infield road course, and then Chicago street course in the rain. Yeah, I forgot about that. And then to close out the season, we are at Misano, the Marco Simoncelli circuit. So that is going to be a fun 5 races across the next few weeks to close out the season here for the ASRL Eminent Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. Thank you to them, as always, for sponsoring or being the title sponsors here for the second season of 2024. From channel letters to monument signs, they handle it all. Contact Eminent Signs and Graphics. The link is in the description to the video. Thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. Had a decent group here tonight. Don Golden, as always, Reaper GT05, Joshua Rutherford, Cole Maxwell, Jeff Mathis, It's Gabe Plays. Chat did not blow up like I thought it would after JJ Wang was victorious in the feature race. But nevertheless, I'm sure they'll do all their partying over at TWR after a successful night. 3 of the 4 victories go to Team Watson Racing here tonight. So congrats to them. A rough night for Nate Siefker and also for the team boss as well. But they, I'm sure, aren't sneezing at 2 victories, that's for sure. What we got coming up here in the next week, tomorrow night, we set the championship for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series in Martinsville. That'll be on at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Saturday, it is the Campbell's Veterans Memorial Foundation race. It is at Road America with the GT3 Mustang. That'll be on, I believe, at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern, so it's an afternoon race. We'll hope to catch you for some charity racing here on Saturday. We'll have a way for you to donate on the stream as well if you're not going to participate in the race itself. So join us for some Saturday afternoon racing. We'll look forward to that. Then we'll be back on the air for the very special Daytona Duels and Qualifying show for Truck 200 at about 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. That is going to be a very unique format, or unique to the channel anyway. We've never done a strictly qualifying and dual event before, so that's going to be a good time. We'll hope to catch you there for some Truck 200 racing and what's going to be a full field and a stacked field for both of the dual races. Looking forward to that very, very much. And that'll lead us back into Wednesday. We're back here at Le Mans. Very excited for the channel debut of Le Mans, one of my favorite circuits. Finally going to get it on the channel. Very, very excited. At 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Wednesday night for the ASRL Limited Signs and Graphics Sports Car Championship. That's all we got for you here tonight. Thank you to everybody with the ASRL admin team. Congrats to the American Sim Racing League on 25 years of sim racing excellence. It's about to be 26, not too far around the corner. Maybe we'll get a big new banner for 26 years, although it's not quite as pretty as a number as 25. But regardless, thank you to everybody with the ASRL group. Thank you to Corey Rutherford and Rick Thompson. And thank you to everybody that's watching. Thank you to the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson. Hope to have him back tomorrow night. That's all we got for you, though. Till we meet again here from Fuji Speedway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to Dave Seats and JJ Wang on the victories in the GT3 races, and congrats to Christopher Hill on the sweep here tonight from Fuji. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.